give up, go home, it's not going to work out. And that's the message that so many people have learned when they've tried to move forward, but because of their race, their religion, their national origin, their age or disability, their sex or their sexual orientation, they always had to challenge the institutions that were unfortunately bigoted and ignorant and also privileged. Well, some of these people are saying, I shouldn't run for governor, but you need to know that this is a governor that does not quit. This governor is not going to quit because insiders have told me that you're not going to pass ethics reform that has an independent commission. A commission not appointed by the legislature and governor to whom it has oversight. This governor is not going to quit in trying to reduce spending to reduce property taxes. This governor is not going to quit fighting for new jobs in clean energy, high-tech, biotech, and advanced manufacturing. And this governor is not going to quit because tabloid newspapers print rumors and innuendo and lies all the time, waving the banner of a newspaper that could have cleared up the facts and chose not to do so. And by the way, this is not a John McCain campaign strategy. This is an American crying out for justice, as any American placed in this position would have. But you New Yorkers have never quit on the idea of having opportunity and common decency, and neither will I. I have a plan to bring a 4-year balance to our out-year debt. I have a plan to bring oversight to the legislature. I have a plan to create a budget process that is not rife with power, spending, and approval. And in that plan, there's going to have to be some tension. And people call it a stalemate. Well, a stalemate is better than stale responsibility. The definition of a stalemate is that somebody is standing up for the people. And you can win even in a stalemate. When the legislature left me nearly $1 billion short and the state ran out of money in December and the budget wasn't closed, I closed it for them with an Executive Authority Act. The legislature brought me an ethics bill, which for intellectual honesty was not a bad bill, but it's not going to clear up the atmospheric conditions on Planet Albany. I vetoed that bill and brought the legislature back to the bargaining table. When the Senate didn't meet for a month in a leadership crisis, I defied 200 years of history and appointed a Lieutenant Governor, Richard Ravitch, and the Senate went back to work the next day. And so the people of New York do not quit, and neither does its governor. I'm not afraid to tell the truth, even if it's not embraced at first. And I'll tell you something right now. There are a lot of legislators who work very hard and believe in government. There are a lot more than you may think that there are. And they are just as upset about a legislative process that is shrouded in gridlock and complacency. And they need to step forward at this time, along with those who are on the fence, because the legislature can work with the governor to bring us out of the depths of despair to the high leadership that the people of New York expect. Because right now, we're in a difficult situation. We are teetering on the verge of insolvency, even though our credit rating is strong and all of our foundations are fertile. But I've had to make decisions as governor I just never thought I'd have to make. I've had to veto legislation that really help people. I've had to cut valuable services that we really need, but we didn't have the money. I've had to learn that you can't spend money that you don't have. I once introduced legislation on the issue of lead poisoning assistance for children, and then had to veto it as governor. So I've been through this difficult time, but I know we can get there if we tighten our belts, work together, and bring a legislature forward that has the interests of the people of New York. We can get there, and we will get there. I am an eternal optimist. You would have to be standing here after the kind of year I've gone through in the last few months. But I learned a long, long time ago that the spirit of New York, that its real credo really is optimism. And that we in this state take difficult situations, hard, harsh choices, and we make them our own. That's why we're in the leadership in the current era of education, technology, and finance. But even in the depths of this depression, there are people all around the towns and the villages of this state looking for the newest idea, looking for the new inspiration, and will find it in some of the places that they probably didn't even expect. And so, this is why we need to keep our foundation strong. This is why we need to keep our credit rating high, and this is why we need to keep our economy strong. We're not going to get anywhere borrowing, spending, taxing, or running up debt. We need to invest in the greatest resource this state has ever produced, the people of the state of New York. And all the people need is for someone to believe in them, and I do. It's the same belief in me that I derived from my father's strength and my mother's patience growing up right around here. I think about that kid 30, 40, 45 years ago. I'm dating myself. I wonder what I would say to him. That kid who wondered if they could even survive in public education, more or less graduate, and who knows, maybe even get something that less than 25% of people like him had at the time, a job. And I would say to that kid, people tell you your plight is so difficult, but here's the deal. We're going to move the clock forward to 2010. You're still the underdog. You've still got obstacles. You're going to have to raise money even when the money people don't want to give it to you. You're going to have to persuade the greater part of the state, but you're the governor. You've managed well, and all you need to do is tell the people about it from one end of this state to the other. Would you sign to that? You bet I will. And so, look at what we have. Look at what we've obtained after going through a year when we had the highest escalation of budget deficit ever visited by a state in the history of this country. And we were tested in ways we never thought we would ever be. We had to choose whether schools and hospitals would stay open or perish. We had to choose whether our financial system would thrive or crash. We had to decide whether our system of government would plunder or reach the highest expectations of the public. And we know all of this because we didn't give up. We continue to march forward. We continue to fight because New Yorkers never give up. I'm a New Yorker. I'm not going to give up. I will win the election